So, welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Attack of the Paint. I'm your host, James Ivy Williams, Between the Lines Sports, and I'm going to let my man do his own intro today. And I got Barry Bronner here. Barry, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, I'm Barry Bronner. Work with James at BTL. So we're here to drop a little knowledge on y'all with this basketball thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so today... we're a little late, but we getting it done. So today we're going to recap our 2023 National High School Rankings, our top 100. So our 2022 are already up on the website, btlscouting.org. Please go check them out. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, BTL Hoops, at BTL Hoops on both those platforms. But yeah, so pretty much we're going to pretty much do the same thing we did with our 2022s. We talked about this on the last episode, but the 2023 class is so guard heavy that it's just hard to even ignore how many really, good, talented lead guards, combo guards, shooting guards there are in this class. That it's unreal. I mean, like you can walk down the street and run into one. That's how rare. I mean, how much they're just out there. And so for me, like this is I'm a former point guard, obviously. So like I am infatuated with this list, but there are also other good players on this list as well, as far as like just wings and bigs and things like that. So I mean it's loaded top to bottom, top 1 through 100 is pretty loaded. But what we'll do first, the same thing we did last time. We're gonna start with our top 5. So our top 5 goes this way: Bay Fall, Lutheran Parker, and I think Bay recently transferred to Denver Prep, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Denver Prep. It was Bay Fall at number 5. At number 4, we got J.J. Taylor from Kenwood Academy out of Chicago. At number 3, we got Omaha Bailu from Link Year in Kansas, Missouri.
It's Branson,
Missouri. Okay. At number 2, we got Kwame Evans Jr. out of Mount Verde by way of the DMV. And at number 1, we got Dejuan Wagner Jr. out of Camden, New Jersey. And so what we'll do is pretty much we'll kind of give all these guys a little love, just as far as just because they made the top 5. And then we'll start identifying a few players from here and there. So, Barry, I'll let you go first. How about you give us your take on Bay Fall and what you like about Bay's game overall?
Big fella. About 6'10", 6'11", very athletic. Go get a shot. Go finish the plays. I like the way he finishes those plays a lot. I think Bay Fall's got a chance to be really, really good, man. I just watched him, and like I said, I love his activity and his movement. And for big guys, he's definitely the best big guy in this class, period.
Okay.
And I'm almost gonna say, you could have put him in the 2022 group and been just the same,
right?
To be honest with you.
Yeah. So Bay's a guy I got eyes on first last year. Actually, it was this weekend. I mean, this is going on right now. The Pangos all freshman sophomore event in Chicago. Shout out to Pangos. Shout out to Dinos and Leslie who run Pangos and Full Court Press. So I saw Bay last year there, and Bay was, I think Bay might have won top 30 cream of the crop MVP or co-MVP that year with another guy on his top 5 list, actually, and we'll talk about him next. But Bay's versatile as a big. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He blocks shots. He rebounds the ball well. Again, we talked about this a little bit before, but those bigs that has that transferability skill set where they can do a lot of things really well. And modern day big, can shoot a jumper, can pass a little bit from the perimeter, all those things.
Well, the way the game is changing so much is you look at it. Even if you look at the Atlanta Hawks and you look at guys like a John Collins, and he's bigger than John Collins. John Collins is 6'8". Bay Fall is what, 6'10", 6'11", right?
Yeah.
So you got to think there's a guy that's the size of a Clint Capella that's able to step out.
Yeah.
Drag you inside, drag you outside, and like I said, especially with the way the game is going right now, you want to create driving lanes a lot of times. So if I got a big that can drag somebody out, then that gives my athletic slasher the ability to be able to get to the paint and there's no rim protection.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think guys like Bay Fall, really starting to, and I think he's gonna come into his own. I can't wait to see what he's gonna do at Denver Prep. I don't know much about Denver Prep.
It's new school,
but they're gonna be on the circuit a lot, so I know they'll be at a lot of major events, and I look forward to seeing Bay Fall in action.
For sure. Next on our list, we got J.J. Taylor, Kenwood Academy out of Chicago. So again, same weekend I saw Bay, I saw J.J. I had heard about JJ prior to going, but I hadn't seen him in person. So JJ was as advertised for me. Wing, so he's a 2-3 in my opinion. He's about 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", athletic kid, shoots it well from the perimeter, can create for himself off the dribble. And luckily, I've had the chance since that weekend last year. I've got a chance to see JJ several times over the summer on the circuit. Obviously, I saw him at
in Chicago.
I saw him in Chicago at the Chicagoland summer league, high school summer league. So just seeing him several times over the summer, and to be able to watch the progression that he has too. Like he's definitely a guy that can create his own shot. And he's one of those kids that actually looks like he's having fun playing basketball too.
Right.
And so for me, he has this infectious demeanor about just how he plays basketball, the enjoyment that he has from basketball, on top of his skill set, which is a 6'7" wing that can create for himself, shoot from the perimeter, finish in the lane, finish over the top of people, all those things. And then on the other side, he's one of the best shot blocking wings I've seen. He'll chase you down. He'll block a shot as a help side defender, that kind of stuff. He gets off the ground really quickly. All those things I like about JJ a lot. What about you?
Well, that's anytime you talk about guys that can do things like that, what JJ does is they're high motor guys.
Yeah.
So and we shouldn't always talk about how high motor guys, but some guys are just exceptional. His long athleticism, his wing ability. And then just playing in Chicago, playing in that Illinois area, you got to be tough. I mean, with the Simeons and I know they'll play those schools every now and then, but Taylor's definitely a top 5, top 4 guy.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see where he lands. The key will be where he goes to school at, and I know it's Illinois.
Yeah.
Be curious to see if he ends up at Illinois.
Yeah.
With a long line of guys who come through that program and the job they've done. Brad Underwood's done with that program.
Yeah.
All those guys, not Quentin Richardson went to DePaul, of course.
Right.
But I look at guys like J.J. Taylor in the sense of a Quentin Richardson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can do those things and change games. He can play multiple positions too.
Yeah.
Because I think you can easily slide him between 2 and 3.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that. So next up, we got Omaha Bailu, and again, I apologize about this again if we're saying the name wrong. We apologize. But I'm reading it as I see it spelled. So Omaha Bailu out of Link. I've seen Omaha a few times as well over the past few years. Actually, first time I saw him was at USA Basketball, if I'm not mistaken, out in Colorado Springs, and then just kind of seeing him I saw him this year on the circuit. Saw him at Peach Jam down in Augusta.
Now, initially he was at Mount Verde. Was he initially at Mount Verde at one point?
I think so, but I'm not certain. I
think he might have been at Mount Verde. Yeah. But give me your take on Omaha.
So Omaha for me, versatile forward. I think he's a combo forward. I think we got listed him as a power forward, but he has the ability to play a little small forward, power forward. Can play on the perimeter. I think he's one of those guys that could be a matchup nightmare for guys.
Right.
So a guy that could definitely, take a bigger guy, bring him out on the perimeter, and use his ball handling and his ability to be crafty on the perimeter and create his own shot for him, and then take a smaller guy down in the post, and even not necessarily posting them up, but more so getting close to the basket and shooting a short little jumper, short little hook, short little layup, that kind of thing. But just the ability to kind of have an IQ and identify mismatches and exploit those things well.
Well, anytime you got guys like Omaha, and we've talked about this with at least the last 2 guys we just talked about, they create mismatches, and which becomes problems because you're hard, so you're trying to figure out, is my 4-man going to guard him? Is he quick enough to guard him? Is he not quick enough to guard him? Do I put a guard on him? Now, I say, well, do I go play a little bit of zone, or do I, what do I do? Omaha creates those type of mismatches because, like I said, he can drag a guy out.
Yeah.
He can a smaller guy if he catches a mismatch. You running something, and he'll be able to score on that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. He's a guy that I like. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Link this year. I think they're going to be down in Atlanta a couple of times this year, and then probably at some of the other events I'm going to attend. So, looking forward to seeing him for sure in person, and just to kind of see the progression that he's made since we saw him last in the summer, which was in July, in Augusta. So, looking forward to kind of see what's next for him.
And the thing about Link is they're a new program, if I'm mistaken. Man, they're loaded.
Yeah.
They are absolutely loaded. So you can imagine what those practices are going to be like and what those games are going to be like. They're going to play a high-level competition. I know they'll be one of the teams that you'll have to watch going forward to have a chance to play at Geico.
Geico, yeah, for sure. All right, next up we got Kwame Evans Jr., Mount Verde, a DMV kid, also plays for Team Durant. So, I mean, you think about it. The 2022, our number one guy is a Team Durant guy, DMV guy. Also goes to Mount Verde. Right. And then this on the 2023 side, another DMV guy, Team Durant guy, goes to Mount Verde. Kwame Evans, Kwame's one of those, and I think Kwame's listed at 6'10". Kwame's a small forward though.
Right.
Kwame's a small forward, so Kwame's a perimeter guy. Creates, uses his length well. He's not ball dominant in a sense where he has to demand the ball. He's almost more efficient in a sense. So when I saw him, he didn't make a lot of shots the first game I watched him play, but you saw the shots that he was taking.
Right.
And how he was getting those shots, how he was coming off pin downs and things like that. A lot of KD, a lot of elbow jumpers, things like that. Face up, jab steps, that kind of thing. So he's got a skill set. And again, at this age, you're more so watching, can he play?
Right.
People want to see highlights and they want to see production, which is great. But sometimes if you're a real basketball evaluator, you can sometimes see how a guy plays, and you'll know those shots will fall, and you'll see that they're getting him those shots because he makes he can make those shots. And so for me, it was just good to see a kid who moved well without the ball, got to the spots that you saw that he wanted to get to, and he took the shots. He wasn't discouraged by missing shots. He just wanted to keep doing it. And for me, it was exciting to see a kid like that.
Well, anytime you see a kid, like Kwame Evans, you're looking at progression. You won't see too many guys that are ready-made already at this level. And these guys they'll be juniors coming into, and some of these guys on this list, I'm sure they'll reclass at some point, maybe not.
Right.
But the thing is that you look at a guy like Kwame Evans and you say to yourself, he's getting the shots. He's able to get to the spots he wants to get to. He's able to finish plays. As a college coach or any coach, my job is to make sure we continue to work on that aspect of his game to get him to where he needs to be. Kwame Evans is really good. Yeah. As we talked about 1 and 2, it could have went either way, to be honest. Yeah. I think it's funny, and I don't know what it is with the Team Durant guys, but they all seem to follow on the same Kevin Durant path with their ability to play. The most important thing about him is he doesn't need the ball. Right. So there's situations where guys can say, okay, you know what? I might shoot the ball 8 times, but in 8 times I might go 6 for 8. Yeah. And that's more efficient to me than a guy. I shot the ball 21 times and I was 7 for 21. I mean, I'm looking at the efficiency when you touch it. And in their stats, when you look at synergy, there are things that mark that. Yeah. Like I said, he's a guy on another loaded team at Mount Verde. I think Kevin Boyle's still down there. They do a good job, again, where your practices will probably be harder than some of your games. Yeah. For sure. I mean, as a whole, I don't know anybody with Team Durant, but just really impressed with what they do with their guys, though. And like I said, they're versatile. Yeah. And the thing about Kwame, he's versatile at 6'10". Yeah. So I think he does an excellent job being versatile, making plays, and just being proficient.
Nah, no doubt. And again, so you say I know a couple of guys from Team Durant. I know Dwayne Wise. Shout out to Dwayne Wise. He's the recruiting coordinator, or the director of recruiting for Team Durant. And Osmond, I think, is the program director.
Okay.
So both those guys, solid guys. They do a great job running that program and finding talent and developing that talent and creating opportunities for those guys to further their careers in college and the professional ranks. So shout out to both those guys from Team Durant. And then finally, let's go number one on the list. Like father, like son, well, like grandfather,
Right.
like father, like son. Dejuan Wagner Jr., number one player in the class of 2023 here at Between the Lines Sports. Man,
It's in the blood, man.
yeah, hey man, it's
Milt was a player.
Yeah,
Milt was a player. Dejuan was a player.
yeah.
Dejuan Jr. is a player.
Yeah.
I don't know what those Thanksgiving Turkey Day shootouts are like, but I'm sure they're good. I'm gonna say something about Dejuan Wagner.
Yeah.
The most impressive thing about him
Uh-huh.
is that we've been talking about him for a long time.
Yeah.
When guys have been talked about for so long, I think we undervalue those guys.
Yeah.
We get to see them so much, and we talk about them so much that we see holes we start finding holes in their game. I think Dejuan Wagner Jr. has done a good job of continuing to just grow his game.
Yeah.
We talk about it when we talk about a Mikey Williams.
Yeah.
We talk about it when we talk about a LeBron James Jr., Bronny. But Wagner has stayed the course, but every time you see him, he continues to get better. Like his leadership and just being able to score the ball, and the handles, and he's tough. And I don't think he gets enough credit, but I think he's a terror on defense.
Yeah, he is.
He is a absolute terror on defense. He's a guy, and you always talk about big guards. People love big guards, and I like big guards as well. But guys like Dejuan Wagner, they make you scared to put that ball down around them because if not, he's sitting up under. He does a great job of sitting up under guys and moving. He's got good hand movement and feet movement. He knows how to cut guys off. He knows how to retreat, get back to the spot. So he does a really good job, and he's well deserved to be the number one player.
For sure. My first time seeing Dejuan was USA Basketball again. USA Basketball obviously does a good job of identifying talent early because I think he was going into his ninth grade year. He wasn't even ninth grade yet. So I think it was the summer before ninth grade when I saw him. And first thing I was, you hear like, who's that? Oh, that's Dejuan Wagner Jr. I was like, and you put it together, figure out, okay, that's the son. And he wasn't, I think Dejuan's like 6'3" right now. He might have been 5'9" at the time. And you think at that camp that was loaded with high major Division I, I mean, first of all, the camps, everybody's a high major guy for going over there, unless they choose not to go. But he wasn't intimidated.
Right.
He wasn't nervous. He wasn't like worried. He just played. And to watch a young player that young at that time do that was impressive. And then to kind of fast forward, sophomore year summer, EYBL,
Right.
the best player on his team, which was a loaded team, by the way. That New Jersey Scholars team is freaking loaded. We got more players over here. We're gonna talk about another one momentarily, but that team's loaded. And same thing. And he's a motor guy too, like you say. He's a motor guy. Plays hard. Plays competitive. He's a terror on defense, like you said. Gets to his spots. Same thing. And you can't slow him down. You hope that he's missing shots because if he's not missing shots, he's gonna bust your ass. That's just kind of what it is. If he's missing shots, you may have a chance, but if he's on, ain't nothing you can do with it.
It's tough.
Yeah, ain't nothing you can do with it.
Well, the thing about him is that, and I know at some point we'll get into high school rankings, team rankings.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about how everybody thinks that Camden is just Dejuan Wagner, but he makes other guys around him better.
Yeah.
So when you're speaking on point guards, when you're speaking on lead guards, or whatever you want to call them, they have to can they make somebody else better?
Yeah.
We know how good he is, but can he make the other three guys that's better? Can he make the 6-man better? Does he make them look better? Does he make them play better? And that's what he does.
Yeah.
So with that, well deserved being again number one player.
Right. And again,
class.
and then to kind of just refocus on something, the number one player in this class is a point guard. It's another 10 or 11, 12 of these kids on this list. And that's just, and we're probably being generous with that number. It's probably more than that. Point guards, combo guards that are just studs. But that's how good this list is, that the number one player in this class is a point guard. And when you go down this list, there's going to be a bunch of them. And they all good. They all can score. They all can create. They all do a lot of things well. And we're going to get to a lot more of those guys. But so now we're just kind of bounce around the list a little bit. We won't go through the entire thing by any stretch. We're going to bounce around a little bit. And the first guy I want to talk about is Mackenzie McBako. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name. From Gill St. Bernard, also New Jersey. He's also on that New Jersey Scholars team. For me, Mackenzie could have easily been in this top 5.
Right.
So I did a list of top 8 NBA prospects from EYBL. Mm-hmm. Mackenzie was the only underclassman on the list. That's how impressed I was with him at EYBL. And I had never seen him before.
Right.
He looked like a pro to me. Right. And we talked about this a little bit last year. And I don't want you guys to think we throw that thing out loosely, because we don't. Right, because we do evaluate more than just high school. So we're evaluating college guys going into the NBA the same way. So we're very much connected to how these guys progress from high school to college to the next level. Mackenzie was no wasted movement, mid post stuff, which you don't see a lot of at all.
Right.
Not like mid post, baseline, turnaround jumpers, defending everybody, literally everybody, 1 through 5. He's wreaking havoc across the court. Physique, great frame, great body already. 6'8", 6'9" kind of guy. So he's a small forward, power forward kind of guy. Right. I mean, for me, he was probably one of my favorite players from Peach Jam in that 16U level, and I look forward to watching him. I'm actually trying to get an interview with him when I go to New Jersey next week for Pangos, actually, because I want to sit down and talk to the kid and try to get to know him. So I've already reached out to some of the guys I know up there, but he was one of my favorites by far.
Multi-skilled guy.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. The fact that he can guard 2 to 5, I'm gonna say 2 to 5, which makes him he's so invaluable. Yeah. In this day and time where guys are switching a lot and you're getting caught on switches and you talk about the mismatches. So as we talked about somebody earlier, we talked about if they get a smaller guy on them, what's gonna happen? Yeah. Well, we're talking about what if you get if you're a big guy and you get this guy on you, it's going to even out for you. Uh-huh. So with guys like that, and we're seeing so much diversity in the NBA right now as well. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how he progresses, and what becomes of it. I definitely think that he is a guy. We talk about the word pro. We don't throw it around lightly. He's definitely on that list. Yeah. He's on that short list.
For sure. Moving on, we're going to drop down a couple spots to number 8. Robert Dillingham, recently transferred to Donda Academy out of California. He was at Combine. Actually, I just saw he was at LSU today for a visit. I don't know if it was official or unofficial, but he was at LSU today for a visit. I'll let you go first about Robert. Then I'll come back in. But tell me your thoughts on Robert Dillingham.
Look, Will Wade, I've been knowing Will for a while. Will only recruits pros, first of all. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So for Will to make the trek, before he went to Donda, he was up in North Carolina. He was at Combine with my man Jeff McGinnis. Right. And Robert look, I watched Robert a bunch of times. He is like that. I mean, he can just some guys he can just play, man. I don't even know. I be trying to put it into words, but score the ball, shoot the ball, I can handle the ball. Yeah. He's another guy. I seen him make guys better who I questioned. I was like, I don't know if he's that good, but playing with Robert made him. And then Robert can play with other guards.
Yep, he plays with 3 guards in the summer.
That's the most important part, that he plays with other guards. And I think, and sometimes I think that gets lost in transition that some guys just have to be the main focus, the main guard. But I think Robert can play on or off.
Yeah, he can.
So I'm curious to see about the whole Donda thing.
Yeah.
I will say this though, that and this is nothing to him, but this is to everybody. The goal is to be recruited and have the opportunity. And if you're at a place where you're already getting that love and you're getting that recruitment, then I never understand the whole leaving or going places. So I wish Robert well.
Yeah.
Like I said again, I saw him a couple of times. I saw him when he was young at Combine.
Yeah.
He was
unbelievable.
Saw him when they came down and played TSF. So, and
I was at that game.
Yeah, we were both at that game. We were at that game together, as a matter of fact. So,
had smooth 40.
Yeah, we had a smooth
40.
Hey,
Smooth
on
40.
a good TSF team,
Yep.
against a very good TSF team, I thought.
Yeah.
So
for me, that was my first time seeing him that game. I had heard about him, but hadn't seen him yet. And for me, Combine was good. They had a lot of Division I players, mid majors, a couple of high major guys, some low major guys, but just a good team, a good high school, private school, prep school team. Robert was the best player on the court by far. And the thing is, I had a conversation with an NBA guy about him this week, and I was telling him about that game in particular, and he's like, "Well, who do you compare him to?" And I was like, "Man, it's so hard." I was like, "But the guy that I think about when I see Robert is Gilbert Arenas." I said because
the way he scores
the ball, and Gilbert was probably, and again, there are other point guard, league guards that score. So let's not, I don't want to say, but for the modern day NBA, Gilbert was probably the first guy that they let just go get his. Right. Just, hey, go, you're our guy. You ain't got to worry about facilitating. You don't have to go get 7 assists. Just go score the ball. Robert, as far as just craftiness, the ability to shoot from distance, off the dribble, off the catch, get in the lane. The best thing I liked about him that game I saw against TSF in particular, he shot 20 free throws.
Well, my thing is, and you go back to that game, you're right, he had a cool, smooth 40, but here's the thing though, nothing was forced, nothing was rushed, he was just out there playing, he was just coasting. Yep. And the maturity level, I knew he would be special then because his maturity level, when they told me that he might have been a freshman. Yeah. Was he a freshman? Yeah. Man, I was like, that can't be. That's not a freshman. Yeah. He like he's been here before.
Yeah. At 11 and 12, we've got Isaiah Collier at 11, Wheeler High School, Marietta, Georgia. At 12, we've got Cannon Carlisle, Milton High School, Milton, Georgia. So I'll take one, you take one. Whatever you pick first, I'll do the other one. We've seen these kids both a ton. We like these kids a lot. You take one, I'll take one. Whichever one you take, I'll take the opposite
one. Cannon Carlisle. Yeah, man, look, we had the opportunity to play those guys a couple of years ago. Cannon Carlisle was supposed to be hurt, and man, he contributed to beating us with one leg. He's special. Yeah. Just to watch him grow, man, he shoots the ball so well, and he's a competitor. I just like his competitiveness. Yeah. I think that there's some things. I think that he gets it's crazy. We're talking about a kid that's top 10, 12, 15, but he gets overlooked because he's on a team with Isaiah in the summer, and then in the school year. He's on a team with Bruce Thornton, who committed to Ohio State. Yeah. But Cannon Carlisle, man, he's a defensive demon as well. Yeah. He locks in, locks up. I think for him, people want to see him handle the ball more as a point guard, but I think that's gonna come. But he's a special talent. Yeah. Like I said, you want a guy that's gonna win. Watch them at Geico, and they were, I can't remember who they were playing at Geico, but they were struggling, and all of a sudden he comes down, he hits a couple of shots, and they're trying to get back in the game, they're fighting to get back in the game, But it's just his ability to score the basketball is big time.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big time scorer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in the era we talk about guys, and you talked about Gilbert Arenas there, but he's another guy. Hey, he can go get you a bucket at any given time.
For sure. All right, so you took Canaan. I'm gonna take Isaiah Collier, Wheeler. I've been watching him since 8th grade. I saw him at the at Horace's event, the All-American camp he had, and so he had a middle school game. The first game of the day was the middle school game, and a bunch of kids were in this game. By the way, I saw a lot of firsts who are studs now from that game actually. And now I'm gonna get back to Isaiah, but Paolo was in that game. Chet was in that game. Not the middle school game, of course, but like just that day. Right. Paolo, Chet, the kid who goes to Dior was there. J.D. Davison was there. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, Kajani Wright was there. Like loaded, and so it was a lot of firsts. Like first time seeing a lot of guys that day. But Isaiah, as a 8th grader at the time, you just saw something. Lead guard, like pure lead guard, like elite passer. And that's the thing. So like he's become a better scorer over the past couple of years. But one thing he always was able to do is facilitate. And so he's probably one of the best facilitators in the class, in my opinion. And again,
he's one of the most crafty guards I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
He is crafty.
Yeah. He's another guy. He's another guy, defensive demon, on ball stuff. Like you put the ball down from him, he gonna take it.
Right.
And he ain't gonna talk a little, to you too. If he does. I went and saw them in practice a couple weeks ago over at Wheeler, and he was impressive. I mean, and it was more so his ability to kind of start shooting the ball from deep off the dribble, being vocal on the court to his teammates, and not in a demonstrative way or anything like that. Just more encouraging, telling guys where to be, moving guys around, like orchestrating the team as a lead guard. And he's gotten bigger. That's the thing. He's gotten bigger, and he had a good summer this summer too with TSF. I think Cannon was a little hurt towards the end of the summer, so he carried the load a little bit. And so I think that kind of helped him develop more of his offensive instincts moving into this high school year. I expect a big year from for sure.
Well, really what you find is that I saw him. We played against him as a freshman, and we played against him early in the year. Mm-hmm. It might have been November. So I think he was really just adjusting to. And then I turned around and I watched him get in the state championship game, and just watched him grow as a player and then as a leader. Yeah. Like he's become. We had a chance to watch them play against him this summer as well, and just watch him become a leader, and then just watch him think the game through. Yeah. He does an excellent job, I think, of thinking the game through. Man, shouts out Larry Thompson. Has really done and his staff. Yeah. Man, they've done a heck of a job with the development of Isaiah Collier.
For sure, and just to piggyback off that, walking into Wheeler High School as a freshman and starting on a state championship team.
It's almost unheard of.
It's not an easy task at all, and especially and Division I players across the board in that team.
Right.
And to be coming out of 8th grade to go run a team that wins the state championship, and then to repeat the following year. I mean, again, credit Larry and the whole staff over there. Great staff, showed me great hospitality while I was over there the other day. But that's a lot, man. So for us, these two kids right here. Local kids that are near and dear to us because we like to see the kids that are from our area to do well and progress. And these are two of the finest that we have in the class for sure. And for them to be back to back or neck and neck as far as 11 and 12 on our rankings, and for us to know for certain that they're best friends too. Right. I mean this is something. So for us this is a big one. So you can't say anything about this guy. You can't say nothing about this guy. So I'm gonna do this one all by myself because Barry has a bias. So Barry, you can get
not be a bias.
So next guy that we have him at 25. Stephon Castle goes to Newton High School here in Newton, Georgia. Barry is an assistant coach on that team. Covington. I'm sorry, Covington, Georgia. I apologize, Covington. So Stephon is a big, true point guard. 6'5", 6'6". Solid frame already. It's in the genes again. We talked about this too. Shout out to Stacy. What's mama's name?
Quan.
Shout out to Quan. Great kid. Always polite. So this is personal stuff here. So like we know about this kid. Like obviously we know about this kid a lot. But skill set wise, I mean, there's really nothing on the court that he can't do. I mean, he wants to get his teammates involved first. So he's always, I think he's actually more. He thinks the game a little bit more than some kids do. He tries to set his teammates up first, and then when you start playing for the passes, when he starts scoring the basketball, and he can score from anywhere on the court. Obviously, you know, a lot of kids don't shoot it well from the 3-point line yet, and he doesn't. He's not one of those kids that wants to overshoot threes either. So he'll take timely threes. He'll make timely threes. Mid-range stuff's good. Athletic, get in the lane, finish over the top of people, and again, big guard. And again, I will say this. Don't shoot me for it. You can at me if you want to. I don't really care. The comparison is, and this is a recent comparison because this kid just got to the league, is Cade Cunningham. Big, dominant point guard, big frame, and I think Steph's probably even more athletic than Cade for sure. I'll give you something. Go ahead, Barry. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. What you got?
I'm gonna give you this. Actually, it's a pleasure, man. Having the opportunity to be in practice with Steph a lot, be around Stephon a lot, and his family. He's born to do this. Like, this is for Steph. He's 6'6", 205. He works extremely hard. Like, he's worked hard to put to get his frame together. Listen, when Steph was a freshman, we had Steph playing the fives sometimes. Oh, wow. We weren't that big, and Steph played the five, but it helped him because what we knew is that Steph can rebound the basketball. And Steph shoots the ball extremely well. He's really continued to work on some of his in-between stuff. Now he's getting to the point where he's just coming down the lane, and he's dunking the basketball, and he's getting up. He works on his game every day. Shout out to it's not about me, trust me, but shout out to our staff, man. I mean, Coach Charlamagne Gibbons does a hell of a job. He really does a hell of a job of working our guards out. We've got another guard that's on the list as well, but Steph's special though, and his dad. The cool thing about Steph's dad played at Wake Forest and played at Central Florida, and he allows us to coach Steph, which is so you know, and Steph wants to be coached. Like he's a good kid. The Cade Cunningham comparison, I don't want to sound biased, but Steph, if Cade Cunningham was the number one pick in the draft, I can't foresee this Steph not possibly being a lottery pick. Like he's just got it. I mean, at that size, I mean, he's just so. You know, and you would think that this last little piece is that, man, he and the guys on the team, man, you should in the locker room and you see him and they're. I mean, he's just a team guy. Like they're always rooting for each other. That's so great. It's awesome to see a guy who people talk about a lot like that, but he's rooting for his guys as well. Right,
for sure. So shout out to Steph. These next two guys we're gonna talk about. So at 25 we had Steph. 26 we got Brandon Gardner, Word of God, North Carolina. He played with Team Thad this summer. He moved up to play with Team Thad too. Because I think he was playing 16 U's with AOT at first, and then 17 Team Thad brought him up. And man, is this kid special, man.
Look, I seen him with his back to the basket, handling business. Like I like Brandon Gardner a lot. I think he's at Word of God, and I know he did play maybe a game or something with Vertical Academy. So I don't know if that was just a one-off or not. Okay. But again, Brandon Gardner is a guy, multi-skilled guy. I think he's a 3-4 guy. 3-4 guy. Does a couple of things. He is deadly around that basket though. For me, he's deadly around that basket, and like I said, he don't mind mixing it up a little bit. Got a nice big frame.
Athletic, long.
Bouncy. You know, just certain guys. When you watch them, when you get them on the floor and you watch them, like Gardner's a guy that I think that every time he touches that ball close to that basket, I think he's gonna score.
Yeah.
Like he's just one of those guys for me.
For sure.
Like,
he's a quick leaper too. So like, for me, it's the thing of him gathering the ball and before a defensive player can react, he's already up dunking.
Right.
And that's what I like about him a lot. And so we're gonna keep it going real quick. 27. I mean, these four kids right here too. So 25, 26, 27, 28. So 27, we got Jaden Lemon, plays at Blair Academy, New Jersey kid.
Okay.
I know Jaden a lot. He was actually down here last year during COVID. His grandma's from Georgia, so I got to know him when he was down here. His parents actually just moved down to Georgia. He's staying at Blair though.
Okay.
League guard, plays for PSA Cardinals. I seen him a bunch. And actually, while he was here that summer, he played with Team Dickerson. Played with Team Dickerson's with the team with Noah Clowney. That team.
Oh yeah.
That team. And so, league guard, good size, like one of the best shooters, off the dribble, off the catch. Not in anywhere on anywhere around the perimeter, corners, wings, top of the key. He knocks stuff down. Gets in the lane. He's crafty, very crafty, very crafty. Finishing around the lane really well. Finish with contact. Finish over, under, around bigs, that kind of stuff. I mean, and a hardworking kid too. Hardworking kid. Been in a couple of workouts with him, so I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite kids. He's had he's the fact that he has ties down here and ties up in the Northeast. A lot of schools are looking at him.
Right.
From the Rutgers and the St. John's to the Georgias and the Georgia Techs.
Right.
He's anywhere up the East Coast. You probably know about Jaden.
Well, you got to be good to play. New Jersey. I mean, like we talked about it earlier with a couple other guys, and there's some guys up in the 22 class that are like that.
Yeah.
You got to be good to play out of New Jersey, and just listen to you describe him. I really need to sit down and watch him a little bit more.
Yeah.
To see, but. Like I said, guys that are crafty, with the way, like I said, things are, those guys can be definitely difference makers. For
sure. Moving on, we got 28 right here. So I know we did 25, 26, 27, 28, but these are kids that we really like a lot. London Johnson goes to Norcross High School, and London's picked up some offers over the past couple of weeks that you should take notice of London if you don't know who London is. Got a North Carolina offer, got a UVA offer yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. He's got a NC State offer. He's got a bunch of really good high major offers, ACC, SEC schools. London is another guy. He moved to Georgia last year from North Carolina. He is and again, this is a kid that I've seen like in person workout.
Right.
He's probably one of the hardest working kids I've ever seen.
Right. I watched, got a chance to sneak in and watch them a little bit this summer.
Yeah.
They were playing at Rise, I think. And London's another talented guy out of the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia, we do more than just play football down here, man.
Sure.
I mean, this might be point guard you, man. Guard you down here.
Yeah.
London's another guy score that basketball. He's fearless. He's tough.
Yep.
I mean, he can get a shot. I think he can get a shot off on anybody.
Yeah.
Just finds ways to score. And then he's in an excellent program. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Now London's gonna have to show a little bit more of the load because Ja'Kai Howard also went to Donda.
Yeah, correct.
So. Yep. It'll be interesting to see what happens with London and now going from having a running mate to kind of being the focal point of that situation. I know that Coach McMillan's going to do a good job in Norcross with him. But like I said, he's just a scorer.
Yeah.
A guy that can score the basketball. And then another guy, we got a lot of guys that are thinking the game right now.
Yeah.
And he falls into that. So the Isaiah Colliers, the Cannon Carlisle, Stephon Castles, the London Johnson. These are four kids from Georgia that are all gonna bump heads at some point.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: London Johnson and Norcross will play Newton on November 20th.
Okay. Where?
On the radar.
On the radar. I will be there. We will be there, obviously. We will be there for sure. All right, so moving on, we're going to bring up another kid, Aidan Holloway, transferred to Lala Muir this year. He also played on that AAU team with Robert Dillahan.
With Dillingham.
Yeah, CP3. And
Yes,
they played on another team
yes.
together. They kind of bounced between CP3 and another team.
I cannot think of the other team's name, but I watched them play on court 6
At Swanee.
at Swan.
Yeah. So same thing, and they had three guards, and the other guard played USA basketball. He's good. I can't think of his name right now. It's escaping me, but anyways, Aidan Holloway is another kid. I saw him play early, a couple years ago too, when a lot of the shoe teams were not allowed to kind of play under the umbrellas of the shoe teams, and I saw him up in Rock Hill playing with it might have been Thad. For some reason I'm thinking it's Thad, but maybe it wasn't. Anyways, all that being said, Aiden's a bucket.
Yeah.
And he's not the biggest guard either.
No.
Crafty, finish around the rim, gets his shot off, and another kid get his shot off on anybody.
Right, gets a shot off on anybody.
Great shooter off the dribble, great shooter off the catch, can play on or off the ball. Again, what we saw with that three-headed monster guard combo that they have, that CP3 team in particular, that 16U team, they all have the ability to create. They all have the ability to shoot and catch and shoot. They all have the ability to create for other people.
Right.
And Aiden's another one of those kids, and again, another one of these teams that just always has talent. Lalamere always has talent.
Yeah.
They always have bigs, so I would love to see him play with some bigs that he can go throw lobs to. And
well, it's going to be interesting. So Lalamere is getting. They have kid that was in 2022, Taj Manning.
Yeah.
I'm very high. I was charting the Under Armour circuit pretty much during the summer, and he was almost at a double-double. So if you're looking for a guy for him to get that ball to and that big, Taj Manning is going to be that guy for him.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so next, I'm gonna go to this guy next, Asan Diop, Denver Prep. So he plays with Bay.
Bay Fall.
I saw him the same time I saw Bay the first time up in Chicago at Pangos, and for me, Asan was the best passing big and probably even the best passer at that camp that when I saw him. And this is a sequence of plays I saw him do. No joke. This is a 3-sequence play I saw him do. Start off on defense. Playing behind the defense. Blocks a shot against the glass.
Right.
Grabs it. Pushes. 2 dribbles off the right hand bounce. Down on a dot, late for a layup. Off the dribble, no touch with the other hand.
Wow.
Layup, assist, layup. Next possession, come down, challenges the shot, alters it, rebound. Left hand this time, one dribble, full court pass, down the court. Guy misses the layup. Who gets the offensive rebound?
He does.
He gets the offensive rebound, put back dunk. Next sequence, still. Half at the top of the key, picks the guy's pocket clean, comes down, one hand dunk. Like for me, he was, and again, he's overshadowed by Bay. Obviously, JJ Taylor was in that camp, so it's. I get it. He plays in the background, but when I say skilled, he's 6'10". He may be taller than Bay.
Right.
But he's more of a guy that really can create for himself off the dribble. He wants to pass the ball. He's really skilled. Do
you compare? Anytime you talk about guys with that size, I compare guys like that, like Lamar Odom. Like
that's probably a good comp. That's probably a really good comp right there.
Lamar Odom, guys that can get other guys involved, even though they're 6'10", they can change the game by passing.
Yep.
And like I said, I can't wait to see him and Bay together though.
Yeah, and I feel like they're coming to Georgia for something. I think, and I don't quote me on this, guys, but I may be wrong. I think they're going to play overtime.
Wow.
I feel like they're going to play overtime.
I feel like they are.
Yeah, so I feel like they are. So I think they're going to play overtime. So, but just really good kid, quiet. Again, plays the background, but if you get this kid, he is steal. For sure. Next guy, we're going to talk about
Caleb Glenn from Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky, man.
Yeah.
Athletic. One of the most athletic guys I saw in 2023. Played on what team was it? I'm about to say it was Brad Bill, but it wasn't.
It was Brad Bill. It was Brad Bill.
Oh, man, look. He was on the team with a bunch of other studs, but he just stood out to me. I mean, he just had so much energy, and he was, look, you talking about guys going to chase down blocks. You talking about guys going to get rebounds, going to finish plays.
Yeah.
Ball come off the rim. He's there. He's pushing. And then he's getting it. He's shooting. He's able to shoot the basketball as well at 6'7". Nice frame.
Yeah.
I
remember when you saw him, you couldn't
man.
remember his name. You said the kid from Louisville, and I was like, Caleb Glenn.
Now,
mind you, it's a bunch of players from Louisville.
Right.
You said the kid from
But
Louisville.
he just stands out so much, though.
And
he stands out so much.
Yeah, for sure. So he's one of those guys that we both seen him at different times.
Right.
Physique, and he committed to Louisville recently.
Oh man, that's a big time pickup.
He early committed to Louisville. He committed
pickup.
Late last month, early this month. He committed to Louisville, but just another solid. And again, the frame is the thing for me. He has a body. That his physique is just imposing.
Yes,
and he's a nice kid too.
Yes.
Nice kid. He's a nice kid, but like you said, chase down blocks, defends all over the court, push in transition. I mean, he's a kid you need to have on your team for sure.
Right.
And for us, we're not. Again, I'd say we're not gonna go through the whole list. So last kid I probably want to bring up, just for the sake of bringing up, is a kid out of Alabama, Cade Phillips. Cade Phillips played a little bit with TSF this year.
Cade Phillips.
Yeah. Tell me your takes on Cade Phillips.
Just around the rim. Every time I looked up, he was swinging on the rim.
Yeah.
Like I said, back to the basket guy. I thought he was catching. I thought he was scoring. Played with Isaiah. Matter of fact, plays with Isaiah and Kanan on that team. Yeah. I think they had one of the top football players in the country on that team, LT Overton.
The number one player in the country.
The number one player in the country.
Yep.
But just really impressed with Cade, his ability. And like I said, he's another guy. He's in the situation. He's in Jacksonville, Alabama, where people look at the team and they say, oh, man, he's in Jacksonville, Alabama. But I think that when you're talking about recruiting and you're talking about going to get guys, those are the guys that bring to mind because, like I said, he can be a game changer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see, if I'm looking for a 6'8" guy that can play around the rim and then expand his game because he can step out and shoot it a little bit. Definitely, Cade. I thought Cade's pretty good. He had a good summer.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, this is the thing. So we're gonna stop here as far as just going through the list goes. You want to see the rest of the list? Go over to btlscouting.org. We're gonna post. We haven't put any of this stuff out on social media yet. We'll post it on social media. So follow us on Instagram, Twitter, BTL Hoops at BTL Hoops. For us, man, it's just. This is the most fun. We got one more of these to go to. We got the team thing to go, which we'll do next. And so that will go out this week. We're done with that, right?
Yeah.
So we're done with that. So we'll post the top 25 private, top 25 public high schools around the country. We'll do a recap about that next week. But for us, man, this is the most exciting part of the preseason, getting ready to go into the season. For us, it's just trying to see players that we haven't seen before, trying to follow players we've seen and track progression and see where they're becoming as they get older and they grow and develop their skill set a little bit more. Like I said, all this stuff is just the exciting part about it. Just watching these guys grow and progress as they continue to develop and get older. I mean, it's something that you guys should really try to take heed to and do a little bit more than be a fan. Try to evaluate and dive into a kid's game and just to see what kind of players they are. We did actually, and to be frank, me and Barry actually did a top 175 for both 2022 and 2023. But we wanted to just post these top 100 because again, we could talk about this stuff all day. We also got the regional stuff for this class as well, the same way we did for the 2022 class, and that stuff will go up on the site soon as well. So, I mean, for us, just follow the page. Shout out to RDK Studios here in Decatur, Georgia, too, for hosting us. Got the whole setup over here. So Khalil does a great job of great hospitality over here. So I want to shout him, RDK Studios, just for hosting us and allowing us to kind of come record and produce this high quality content for you guys.
Right. I mean, and really the thing is that the most important thing is we want fans, coaches to look at these guys, because I know you guys are, recruiting there's so many kids to see, and sometimes you just need to be pointed in the right direction. Of some guys that I think people that are sleeping on. I mean, everybody knows a couple of household names, but there's a couple of guys that are out here that are really starting to climb up, and we're seeing it, and we're watching the progression.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see. And then with these guys, they're juniors, so you don't know what's going to happen in the next
6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how these guys progress. Some of these guys I know a little bit better than others. Some of these guys,
Yeah, for sure. Man, so this is fun as always. So again, follow us on social media, BTL Hoops. Go to the site, subscribe to the site. Sign up for our newsletter or our mailing list. It's the first thing that pops up on the site. Sign up for our newsletter so you can kind of keep up with what's going on as we post new content, whether it's high school content, college content, pro content. We got all that stuff covered for you guys. Also, the podcast can be listened to on all major podcast platforms, Apple, Google, and everything else in between. Also, you can view the podcast on YouTube at BTL Sports. BTL Sports on YouTube. Go look us up. Attack of the Paint. And again, man, for us, man, this is just exciting. So from me and Barry, we appreciate you guys checking in, and look for another episode next week regarding that top 25 high school, public and private school to drop soon. So as always, man, we appreciate you guys checking us out. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.